What's going on, YouTube? This is what we're Josh doing. This is a very, very exciting video. This is a brand new Anker battery. I ordered this on Black Friday, Cyber Monday. It was on sale. I was very thankful because these batteries are not cheap, and I do pay for most of the Anker stuff that I review. I have received some Anker stuff for free, but I did pay for this with my own money. So let's unbox it. I have been checking new releases every single day like I have for the last few years, and I'm very much anticipating their new wireless charging dock. We do have the old one, and we're going to go ahead and use it and see if it works. So here you have it. This is the Anker Prime Ultra Fast Charging Grab and Go Power 20K 220 watt compact size, 140 watt fast recharging. So pretty fantastic there. The side just says Anker Prime. We do have the serial number at the top, and then we have some information here on the side, and then on the bottom we have some more information. So this appears to be model A110B as in Bravo. There you go. On the back we have some pretty good information such as Anker live charged, a person holding the charger and their phone, the battery charging a laptop, a phone, and a tablet at the same damn time. Anker is the #1 choice of chargers. Obviously, they are good at what they do, and people continue to keep buying them, and I continue to keep buying them and making videos. So this does have Bluetooth, which is super exciting. That means we're going to be able to connect to the device and remotely monitor it, apply firmware updates, and all sorts of cool things. Let's go ahead and see if these tear off nicely. Oh, first one's so good. Oh, that's a first. Man, I usually have bad luck with that. I was convinced that was not going to work. All right. And then we lift it up and we get the power bank. Has some nice weight to it. Let's see what else we get. We get a nice little carrying case. This is great because you can put the power bank inside here and keep it nice and protected and scratch free. And we get a nice cable. These are braided. These are like 3 foot. These are such nice cables. And it comes with this little thing that I always end up removing. And then we have the quick start guide for the power bank itself. It just goes over like safely keeping the battery stored and stuff. All right, sometimes, I miss things. I don't want to throw this box away and have something in here that's okay. We're good. All right, let's do the very satisfying peel, which wasn't so satisfying because it did not peel. Oh my gosh. Oh, Anker just makes such great high quality looking devices. I mean, just look at this. This just screams absolute premium. This is nice. Got a big old front here. We've got a side with nothing. This side says Prime and has the power button. Here we have a USB-C, a USB-C, and a USB-A. And then we have some information here on the back of it. All right, so basically it is airline safe. This is 72 watt hours. It's got all of the specifications for what the charging ports can do, and you can go ahead and pause that and read it. So there's all that juicy information. On the bottom, we've got some pretty good information. So it has the Bluetooth logo, it's got a QR code, it's got your serial number, and it's got those charging pins. Those are what you're going to need to use to wirelessly charge this thing pretty damn fast. Now, without further ado, I'm going to use Anker's 160 watt charger here. This is their newest release that goes along with all these new Prime series. I'm going to connect it to a wall outlet that also has a meter on it, and then connect the cable to the USB-C port, and then connect the USB-C port to just the top one there. And you can see right away that my power bank came with a 27% charge, and it is charging at 100 watts currently. What I'm going to do now is you need to download the Anker app, which we already have installed. And once you install the app and open it up, you're going to log in and you're going to see all the devices that you have on your account. And what we're going to do is go here to the top and click add a device. And it found the power bank. So I press the button on the side of the power bank and we'll hit done. And there you go. We've got the power bank open. It says it's charging at 100 watts. Let's dive into settings, and right away we have a firmware update. So we're going to go ahead and disconnect the power, and it's going to allow us to update the firmware on this guy. And I will tell you that this 26K bigger brother of this one has had, I think, 2 or 3 updates, and it had a pretty major one recently. So that's the exciting thing about having a power bank that can receive updates. All right, looks like the update's complete. And also, I was checking while it was updating, and the USB-C cable that comes with the power bank is rated for 240 watts. That's 50 volts at 5 amps, 240 watt EPR. So that is a pretty good cable that it comes with. All right, let's connect it back up to the charger, and let's finish going over the app. So the app shows the power bank, obviously, the state of charge. It shows the input and outputs here, and then input on the left, output on the right. Then it'll show you what the protocols are. So PD, and it's using Smart Dynamic AI. You can use Power Save or Custom Mode. And then in Custom Mode, you can literally choose how many watts each port gets, which is pretty awesome. And then here it says 43 minutes until the battery is fully charged. And then if we go into the settings, we can choose the charging mode from here as well. We can enter the screen settings, so the brightness, the screen timeout, you can choose 30 seconds, 1 minute, 5 minutes, up to 30 minutes. Always on when active. You can choose a clock screensaver, which is super cool. It'll basically show this clock whenever the device is in standby mode, and you can change the themes, which is really cool. And you can even customize what shows up. So for example, we can do my username, and that will show up when the device times out. And as you can see, everything on the screen is like super tiny down here, so it's actually kind of hard to read, but you do get the Bluetooth icon and then the charging mode here on the top left with the percentage here, and then all the other information kind of down here. All right, let's finish going over the app. So we have the screen settings, which is the clock and stuff. So we're going to go ahead and enable that temporarily just so it'll show the clock under the active time. And then we have the Pomodoro. I don't know. It's set to 25 by default. You also have 15, 25, 35, and off. I don't know what that is. Obviously, we can change the device name. We can change the device language. And we have our serial number in case we want to file a claim later on. We have the firmware update, which, as you saw, is the current latest update. And then we have help and feedback as well. Something I'm curious about is why it's only charging at 100 watts. I find that very interesting. I just bought these Anker 240 watt cables. So we'll plug that in. And here it says 240 watts max, so it detects that it's a high profile cable. And that says PD 3.1. And it's also charging at 100 watts. The device is not warm yet. We'll use their older 140 watt charger here. And what I'll do is plug in to the second port here. And as you can see, we can definitely charge from 2 sources at one time. This is pretty great. For example, you only have 30, 40, 50, 65 watt chargers, but you want to charge this thing at its full speed, and you have 2 of them. You can connect 2 of them and charge this thing at its full speed. I'll try that second port there. Okay, interesting. We are hitting slightly higher than 100 now. Oh, nope, it went right down. Okay, so we're going to let this thing fully charge. We're going to test the protocols, and then we're going to see how long it takes to go from empty to full. But before we do that, we've got the old charging base here. We'll connect it, and then we'll simply dock it on there. And it shows wireless charging base animation, and the app clearly shows that's getting 100 watts to the base. And the power bank reflects that as well. So this is super convenient because you get home from work or school or wherever, you dock it, now it's currently charging, you give it an hour, and then you pull it off the dock and it's ready to go, and you can charge your gadgets with it. So the dock is super nice, and I can't wait to see the next version of the dock. All right, let's come back when this is fully finished charging and finish up the video. Alrighty, so we went ahead and fully charged this battery to 100%, waited for the meter to drop down to almost 0, and now we're going to go ahead and run it through its protocols. Alright, so basically what we're doing now is looking for what all fast charge protocols this guy has, and that's running right now. And already we got some pretty good information here. We got the latest ultra fast charging protocol, and that is the fastest I think I've ever seen at 105 watts. So that's freaking dope. We've got quick charge 3. So then we have SCP. So then we have PD 3.1. And as you can see, we've got 5 to 11 volts at 5 amps or 4.5 volts to 21 volts at 5 amps. That is what you want to see. That's a really good sign. And it is definitely 140 watt capable. All right, what I want to do now is run the test twice. What does that mean? I want to try the other port as well. So we've got this 240 watt cable. We're going to plug that in as well. This one will get plugged into the second USB-C port. So we'll keep the second USB-C port on the right and the first USB-C port on the left. And we'll run auto detect at the same time on both. Oh, right away. I'm seeing UFCS on both ports at the same time. Okay. All right. So we do lose 140 watt. But we do have 110 watt. Let's go ahead and click on that on both of these. And you'll see that the top port on the left here and the second USB-C port on the right here can do up to 110 watts each. And they do get PPS on each at up to 5. Oh my gosh. Okay. So that's actually fantastic. Very good news. Now let's see what that USB-A port can do. All right. So some pretty good data there as well. Let's try that test one more time. All right. One more thing I want to try is we put a USB-A to USB-C thing in there. And yeah, so we've got a lot of protocols. Obviously, we're missing the PD because that's over USB-C, not USB-A, but lots of good stuff here as well. All right, and for this video, I've prepared 2 devices. I've got the battery on my RG Ally X low, which can charge at 100 watts, and I got the battery on my laptop a little bit lower, and it can charge at 100 watts as well. So I will first plug that in, and then I will plug in the RG Ally X. Alrighty, so what we're seeing here is 80 watts on one of the ports and 93 on the other for 170 watts of output. The battery is now at 95%. You can barely see the 170 watts there. That's why I have the app open, just because it's easier to see. If you click the button, you can see that we've got 82 watts on one of the ports and 94 on the other. So very capable power bank. The only question now is how long can it do this before it throttles? That is the question. And then I'm going to let this thing drain, and I'm going to show you how long it takes to go from empty to full. And all right, so basically, this thing can only charge at 100 watts input. Now, that's whether you use the base at 100 watts or a USB-C 100 watt wall charger. The 140 watts is the output. It can definitely do 140 watts of output. All right, I'm going to run a thermal gun and see how hot this gets and tell you if it throttles or not, and then do a full recharge. All right, so it's only been a little bit. It is 16:06, and it did reset the output to lower it, and this thing is warmer to the touch, but it's still going at 130 watts. We will keep an eye on it. Oh, the battery in my laptop's at freaking 90%, of course. All right, so it is just several minutes later, and it says high temperature detected. Let's click on that. And yeah, okay. Please wait for the device to cool down. And oh yeah, that is definitely warm to the touch, but I wouldn't say it's like burning or hot or anything. Yeah, it's 50 degrees Celsius. Let's just keep monitoring this. Okay, so it appears it cut the power to the output, so let's go ahead and change it where it's just the other one. All right, that's the RG Ally X. and it's able to do 60 watts. But when we connect the laptop, yeah, it's pretty hot. Let's get the actual temperature of this thing right now. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. It actually is a small favor to ask for, but it helps the YouTube algorithm, and it's going to put this video in more people's recommendations. I'm most active on my YouTube community page. Just go to youtube.com/whatwoldjoshdo, click on my profile, and you'll see a tab that says posts, and you'll get to see what's happening behind the scenes. Thank you so much for watching. This is What Would Josh Do, and I'm out.